Welcome back, Simmers. It's Catherine here. We're working on a junk house today, and oh boy, do I have a story to tell you on this. I'll see you on the other side.
Bazamba.
So,
Hello, hello. As I said, my name is Catherine. To those of you who are new here, I am so happy you joined us. For those who are coming back, oh my gosh, you mean the world to me. So we are doing another speed build. This one here is what I'm calling a junk lot. It was inspired by a gentleman that I know who he's an older fellow. He's a very solitary fellow. He is a very self-sufficient gentleman. He's a hoarder, to put it nicely. His home is just covered in things that he has plans for. You know, they're all going to go to a thing. They're all worth a thing, but sometimes those plans don't really come to fruition. So that was a little bit of the inspiration for the lot. I wanted it to be green, I wanted it to be heavy on the eco lifestyle pack, but I wanted it also to just be loaded with stuff, with junk, with words that I don't want to say because I'm trying to make sure that my channel is family friendly. So we built this house in the corner here, and it is it's just pretty simple. We wanted it to look like a steel lean-to. I wanted it to look like a steel lean-to, which is why I extend the roof out the way that I did, and just kind of started throwing up our solar panels that you saw, our wind turbines. I love these gates. As I was digging through the debug menu and I found them, I just thought that they were the coolest thing. So I'm really glad that I got to use some of those in this build. I did a lot of debug catalog searching with this one. That's a new skill that I've been learning to practice, is how to find things in the catalog. And for that, I've been seeing in a lot of other speed builds, a lot of the more advanced builders will grab a lot of things from the debug catalog when they see it, but they won't spend the majority of their decorating time while they're in the catalog. And I think that's just due to the difficulty that it takes to navigate it. So you can kind of see me doing a lot of that here, where I grabbed all of the drink thingies I needed from the catalog. I'm going through and getting a lot of the other stuff that I need for the house and throwing that in there. And I'm not really caring about where anything is going quite yet, just because I'm trying to get it all as we're exploring this this catalog. So that's a lot of what we're seeing here and what we're practicing here. I want to get to my story, as I was discussing a little bit in our introduction for this lot. I got this idea quite a while ago. I want to say it was right after Eco Lifestyle came out, so I've been musing over it and practicing it for several days. And when I say that I've been practicing it, I mean I did the whole lot and I liked it and I showed it off to my roommates, and then I said, okay, now I'm going to delete it and I'm going to do it again and I'm going to record it this time. So I'm learning to practice so that way my speed builds look cleaner and I'm refining my own skills at building just more efficiently. So that was why I deleted it and made a new one. As I made the new one, I recorded it. I did a lot of the voiceovers for it, and I went to go edit it. I did all the chopping, all the cutting, all the da-da-da-da-das, whatever that is normal in that. And then I was just about ready to render the video, and I go to double check it in my gallery to make sure that it's coming up right, and the house is gone. The entire thing was just poof, gone, which was so ridiculously frustrating. So I'll tell part 2 of the story here in a minute, because snow globes, I found the snow globes in the catalog. I found the hidden objects that had all of the collectibles, and I just decided it had to go into this house. So I put a bunch of those there. So when you move in your sim to this house, you're gonna have all of those snow globes. Not every single one of them, but all the ones that are there. Also, this little red step thing. So the second time that I did the junk lot, you know, the one where I was first recording it, I didn't have this little red thing. I had to go learn what that was. And I've been practicing this skill quite a bit. It's still really difficult, and I'm still getting used to how to move things around with it. The more that I practice with it, the better I'm going to get, and right now it's super handy. But there's another point later in the video when I try to use it where it just doesn't work so well because there isn't a wall nearby. But anyways, that's all just the technical stuff around it. I really love this little TV setup with the dresser. That was one I did in my original junk lot, which, by the way, even the one that I recorded is not this one. So that was in my original junk lot, and I've carried it through with every reiteration. And it was in this reiteration that I found some of these rugs, like that pickup for the water over there. Because this was my third time through, the one that you're seeing right now. That was a lot of the opportunity to spend more time doing the decorating. So I really got to devote a lot more energy to making it pretty. One of the things that I'm trying to practice more is, like with that window that we got there, the one that just came from Eco Lifestyle, I'm practicing decorating that and putting stuff on that, which is part of why that red shelf comes in handy, because that's essentially like, it's your vertical, like, I don't want to say click, but that's how you put an item on a vertical level without using your Control 9, Control 0. Anyways, so we are working on the inside of the house. I wanted this heavily cluttered as well, but I also decided I didn't want it to be terribly messy on the inside, because for someone who is self-sufficient, they are going to be cognizant of, a fire hazard or something like that. So I wanted a cleaner feel, but I still wanted a junk-based feel, a cluttered feel to it. So that's a lot of what we're going for here right now. So part 2 of this story, as you may have guessed, I ended up doing another rebuild. And this time I double-checked the camera because I expected that to go wrong. I double-checked all of my setups and kind of just went to town on building my third iteration. And that's what you're seeing right here is my third attempt at this. So I've already got a lot of my pieces picked out, and really I'm just doing a lot of placing. And you'll find, even as I'm doing some of this placing, many of these things are in stupid spots. Like, many of these things just don't need to be where they are right now, and I actually have to go back and fix a lot of them. So we'll talk about that when we get there. In any case, so I recorded this, did all that. I hopped into my video editing software, which is Animatica, I think. Animatica, yeah. And you'll notice I don't have the tag in the bottom corner anymore that said made with Animatica, because I decided to actually upgrade my licensing on that, so that way I can do it in higher rendering and I can do more voiceovers, and so I'm going into my program here and I am trying to edit the video and add these voiceovers, and it's all great and fine. And I go back to watch it, and as I'm watching it, I realize I've taken the video from the second lot, the first one that I recorded, and I'm cutting that up, and I was doing over voiceovers on that. Well, there goes 45 minutes of my life. That was fun. This is the part here where I was talking about that red shelf not coming in handy. The ups and downs for these palettes are not as clean, even the tires too, and some of the other things we play with, they're not as clean as I would like, and that's what that orange shelf is for, is to help us, like I said, set that vertical. But we can't do that with the palettes because they're too far away from a wall. In order to use that to set it, I would have to get the wall, and I would have to put the items that are going on our palette, like a random saw and whatnot, on that shelf. This is more decorating here because I saw these sandbags in my second build, and I just decided it was too perfect not to have. It feels to me like this kind of compound, this kind of self-sufficient lot that's just isolated from everything else would probably have the sandbags, if for no other reason than, you know, floods or things like that. When I look at some of the compounds throughout, I don't want to say Western United States because like I don't want to include like the West Coast, but like the Plains West, you know, Wyoming and Idaho and whatnot. I think of compounds, they're all having these sandbags. So I built some little sandbag walls over there underneath our roof, and I really love what we do with that space. So I'm looking forward to when we get there in the build. If you thought my story about the editing fiasco on this was over, you are sorely mistaken, because it is not. So I did all this editing and all the chopping and whatnot on my second lot, first recording, realized it was wrong. So I went looking for the video for this one and I could not find it. It took me probably 20 minutes to find it before I realized I had tried to outsmart myself when I had done the recording and saved it into a folder where it will eventually go, but that's not where the other one was, and so I kind of lost it for a bit. I pull it up, I'm starting to chop through it, and I go to do some of my voiceovers, and I realize my mic isn't recording anything, and I can't for the life of me figure out why. I ended up unplugging and replugging everything probably 3 times in order to get the mic up and running. So that has been an adventure. I did this first practice lot probably on Tuesday. Today is Saturday, and I am just finally getting this finalized. So, you know, this has been one of the longest videos for me to create, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That's not actually true, but I learned a lot, so that matters. We are finally under the roof here, which is important because I've built a bathroom down here and I love it. I connected the toilet to the sink so that way they're running on the same kind of water running because I want it to be as efficient as possible. And I got the toilet paper attached to the toilet. I'm so excited for that. I didn't realize that was a thing I could do, but it was great. Most of those appliances are available as off the grid. So given the water collection and solar panels that we have, you could do this as an entirely off the grid lot if you wanted to. You know, and it's got that feel to it because it's got that rustic, I don't know, isolationist feel, I guess. So we are back to decorating a bit more. I had found these in the catalog, and so I'm adding them in next to our recycle bin. I really wanted this guy to be someone who creates his own things, which is why the bed is a fabrication, the dresser is a fabrication, all of those things. So I put the fabrication station in there, I put the woodworking station in there. Just tried to make sure that everything he would need to create a thing he has. I was particularly proud of the flag too. I'm glad that I did end up finding that. I'm pretty proud of my constructed mailbox here. I grabbed one of the Postal Service mailboxes and sort of jerry-rigged that by adding in another one inside of it. So I'm actually pretty proud of how that one turned out. I like that it was molded together. And then we went back inside and I realized, firstly, I didn't have paint on the walls, so I needed that. I realized I didn't have flooring on the floor, so I needed that. I didn't have garbage in there, so I needed space for the garbage, which meant I had to move the boxes and get all of that put squared away to finish the house. I got a lot of practice on this one for adding new items to a lot, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. I like the way that it looks, I like that it's blocked off, I like that it's definitely a space that's being lived in, and I like that it fits the character of who's supposed to own it. So all in all, I'm super proud of this one. It is up in the gallery as of Sunday, June 14th. So you guys can find that there under my origin ID, Lady Alpha 001. Thank you so very much for watching today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that way you'll get videos for our other speed builds, and make sure you check out some of our Let's Plays like the Rags to Riches. I'm super proud of how that one's going so far. So it has been a pleasure to do this with you today, guys. You have an awesome rest of your day. I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.